ready to go? Go for it.
Coach, the expectations, you talk about the noise all the time. The first couple days, what message do you send to your team to not listen to undefeated or national championship?
Well, it's all about managing expectations, and the thing about it is when you talk about a national championship, you never want to talk about it. You don't ever want your players to even think, because you have to play each game. And what you don't want to happen to this football team is that they get so caught up in high expectations, they get caught up in what everyone is saying, and then they themselves forget how to go get better. And they themselves forget how to stay focused and how to prepare.
As far as Teddy goes, we've talked a lot about all the stuff that the Heisman hoop and all that. He's handled this so differently the last couple of weeks. How different? How much has he grown up? Or is it just a matter of maturing? The way he's handled the media, the way he's done things, it just seems like a year ago that it might not have been the same. He was a little shy maybe a year ago.
Well, he's matured over a year, but he's matured since the first year he came. And now that he knows that he's going to be in the limelight a lot, he understands that the focus and the attention, all the attention is going to be on him. So now he's able to stand up and say, you know what, guys, this isn't all about me, but I know it's going to be about me. So I have to know how to handle myself.
This real quick. Sorry.
Hey, Coach, this is your fourth year here. Does it seem like it's the fourth year, given that you've kind of had a lot of work to do the first 2 seasons especially?
Well, time flies now, and you don't ever think about it. It is our 4th year here now, and just building from each year, we've gotten better and better and better, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to improve this program, and we want to go out and recruit the right way and get the right players in here, and just make sure that we will create a winning atmosphere in the city and on this university.
When players leave after their 4th year, they're entering their 4th year, we always ask them, what's their legacy going to look like? When you decide to leave here, with retirement or otherwise, what do you want your legacy to look like?
Well, I built a program that where young men graduated, where we built a program where we won some football games, and where we built a program where we're able to take a group of young men and place them in society and watch them become productive citizens.
Teddy talked a little bit about why he picked number 5, and he likes the theme of redemption. He picked that from the Bible. That seems to be an important thing to you as well, the ability to redeem and make kids productive members of society.
Well, that's what it's all about, because when you get young men into your program, you want to make sure, number one, they graduate. And then you want to make sure that, number one, you instill the right values in them so that they can, once they leave your program, they can go into society and be productive, and they can handle themselves. A lot of times you watch young men and they're placed and they leave a university, and once they're away from the university, they don't know how to manage themselves. And I don't want that to ever happen with one of our players.
You talked about the difficulty of coaching at Florida when you're expected to win every game, and it took some of the fun out of it. How do you prevent that? What did you learn from that process that maybe you can apply to these guys to say, let's enjoy every week?
Well, I said to these guys, I said, are we an elite program? And what I meant by elite program, are we the Alabamas? Are we the LSU? Are we the USC? Are we the South Carolina? Are we the Georgia? Are we the Michigans? Are we the Ohio State of college football? And those programs are expected to win each and every week, and they're expected to be in the top 5, top 10. Have we arrived there yet? No, but we can work to get there. Mm-hmm. We just have to be a consistent program.
Mm-hmm. Vance talked about recruiting now. Guys are calling you. You, I think, said that the day that the Tennessee, when you announced that you were staying, you said you wanted to get the program to a point where recruiting is easier. Have you taken that step because of the success, because of the contract that you signed, and turning down Tennessee? Do you feel like all that plus the ACC has kind of helped, to where you're getting in the door with a different kind of guy?
Well, I think that what players look for is stability, and now that we have stability, we're going into the ACC. There's stability in our program where the head coaches are leading, and now you're building a program. And that's what the players are looking for. They're looking for, hey, where can I go where I'm get to go compete at the highest level, but also I'm going to be around a coaching staff that's going to be able to see me through my 4 years.
When you took over, not a lot of guys are still not a lot of guys stuck it out that were here. I mean, you had some. The guys that are fifth-year seniors now have been through a lot in their careers. What do those guys, George and Copeland and Hakeem, what do those guys mean to this program and to you? I mean, they stuck it out and they've been here through a lot.
Well, they've been there 5 years, and it has been a lot. And I just think I think it's 5 of them. I think it's Champ Lee, Cope, George Durant, Phylon, and it's one more. But I know it's 5 of them.
Is it Hakeem? Was it Hakeem?
Hakeem Smith.
Hakeem Smith.
Yeah.
So you think about it, and you think about what those, I'm saying scholarship-wise, because we have
Right.
walk-ons too, but
Right.
you think about what those players have been through. And I said to that group of guys, I said that you've been through so much, and you've heard what people say, which couldn't be done, and now you get to sit back and you're special because you watch the program rise, and you were part of that rise. You know, look at Hakeem, since we've been here, he's been a starter. Cope has battled injury, Phylon's battled injury, Champ Lee, but all those guys have a degree already too, and that's what's amazing. But they watch the program develop and grow, and they're part of it. And it's because of the work that they put in that they feel like, Coach, I was able to go lay a brick. And that's it. Yes, you were.
Coach, you talked about how you're not Ohio State or Michigan or Alabama, but to be the best, you got to play the best. Is there a team out there or teams that you'd like to play?
Well, it's not so much we have to play those teams, but it's more of just being a consistent winner and being consistent week in and week out. And once you build that consistency, then you're going to build that winner. And so now you will get in the conversation, because you look at our first year here, we were able to get to a bowl game. Second year here, we got to a bowl game. Then third, this past season, you go and win a Sugar Bowl. So now you need to go back and make sure that you become the conversation of college football.
If you're the conversation of college football, if Teddy wins a Heisman or Devontae wins a Biletnikoff or whatever postseason award, how much does that help your job?
Well, what needs to happen is the whole team needs to play well for that to happen. For Teddy to go win a Heisman, everybody, offense, defense, kicking game has to play well for Teddy. Not only for Teddy, but for themselves also, and for Devontae also. So it'll make our job that much, not so much easier, but you look at it like, okay, this job's unbelievable now because look what we've been able to produce.
What does this program, It's a Wonderful Life, the movie, what does this program look like if Teddy Bridgewater didn't exist? If he's not here, I mean, how important has he been to your building?
Well, if he wasn't here, I hope I would have another quarterback and make other players play well.
Yeah.
But just to watch Teddy develop, and it's been great to just watch his maturity and just watch how he grew, not only from a football player to just who he is. But I say this, Teddy's a great player, but we have a lot of players surrounding Teddy also that are really good football players. I mean, you look at Preston Brown, you look at Hakeem Smith, you look at Devontae, you look at Mack, you look at John Miller, you look at Jamon Brown, from Brandon Dunn to Marcus Smith to Malden. But you have some guys that surround him also.
Now, you've played with a target on your chest, being Florida. You're going to play that way this year probably, as everybody's going to be taking their shot at you. How do you prevent that? How do you go? You talk about being the hunter and not the hunted. How do you change that mindset?
But that's always been our mindset. We will always be the hunter. We would never feel like, because when you put that target on your back, you think you've arrived. So now I'm standing at the top of this mountain, so everybody's got to come to me. No, we want to go chase the top of that mountain. We want to continue to chase it. So we always want to stay the hunter.
I think you mentioned this maybe in Rhode Island a little bit, but have you always felt like when you went back and looked at a year, you're kind of a year ahead, or what a lot of people expected? The first year you go to, not people expected, last year people were saying, oh, next year's going to be their best team. Have you always kind of been a little bit ahead of schedule here?
Well, when you think about it, you go back our first year. I can remember we walked in, there was 25 seniors, and it was just, they wanted to get to a bowl game. And we're out here playing South Florida, and it's 4th and an inch. And if we win that game, we're bowl eligible, and we get beat. And then the next week, we lose to West Virginia. And then Pittsburgh beat us. So now we had to go on the road to go to Rutgers, who had embarrassed us 2 years ago when we went there. So you had to go win that game. So then we play together, we put together a good game plan, and we go win that game. Year 2, you sit there, you're 2-4. And so I lost 25 seniors, so I said, year 2, I said, oh my God, I don't know what we're gonna do this year. You know, you're just hoping you'll win 3 or 4 games. You lost 25 seniors with not much coming back, because you think about it, you go into that season and Stein was your quarterback, Teddy was your backup quarterback. You lost a lot of power, but you still had vet. You know, you lost guys on defense. You lost Brandon Heath. You lost Johnny Patrick. You lost some really good players there, Malcolm Tatum. So now, and then you had to replace your offensive line from Weather to Stingley to Tomchek to Josh Byram. You know, so you lost some really key players. And so now here you're sitting there, you're 2-4. So, okay, on that schedule left, you had Cincinnati, you had Rutgers, you had to go to West Virginia to win, you had Pittsburgh, and you had South Florida. So who were you going to beat? I mean, you're not like, oh, there's 5 teams. You're 2-4. Who are you going to beat? And so somehow we were able to go win 5 of our next 6 games and get to a bowl game. And then last season was special. You know, you end up being 11-2, or you could have been 7-6, 8-5. But it's a close game. We're able to get out of those close games and go win them. But you know, just looking where we were, I never thought we'd be in this position we're in right now. You know, did never, because if you think about it, you try to build your team, so you would think that with your senior class, with Teddy them coming up, there would be the class, because now that's going to be your senior class. And now here you sit there with Preston Brown and that first class of ours being the class. And but you know what? It's just attributed just how hard our guys have worked.
You know, in 2011 and 2012, you didn't have a lot of talent and depth. Are you sleeping better at night now with this group?
Well, you got some players out there, but you don't sleep any better now because expectations just risen so far. So the sleep doesn't come that easy. But you just happen to be in a position we're in, because now you feel like, hey, I have enough depth. You know, I'm sitting there like I'm always mentioning a cornerback, where I have a field corner now, 4 guys on scholarship, which has never happened. And then you look at linebacker crew, even though you're young, but you're still looking at Preston Brown. There's Burgess, Keith Brown when he comes back, but there's Durant still standing there. There's Champ Lee, and then you got Kelsey, who's a young guy. But you have all these young players that are standing there for you.
Vance made it pretty clear that he didn't feel like he was aggressive enough with that defense last year. Do you concur? Do you believe you should be more aggressive?
You have to play aggressive on defense, and the thing you have to do on defense is that you had to disrupt the rhythm of the offense, and we didn't do a good job with that. You know, we didn't get off the field on third down. We tackled poorly, and in the red zone we allowed teams to just score on us. And for you to stop the third down conversions and for you to go tackle, you have to be able to disrupt rhythm.
You haven't really had, I mean, you kind of have 2 nose guards out right now. I mean, who's that big body guy that's going to kind of go in there with Brooks and Brown out?
Well, right now it's Brandon Dunn's inside, and
Yeah.
so we just got to find a backup. But you still have Phylon, you have Marcus Smith outside, you have Malden, and then you have enough backups. We have enough bodies there. It's just now with being aggressive, you can play aggressive, not to have a big guy in the middle. Because if you move a lot, then you can always find a way to protect that guy.
And with the spread offenses that you see, how important is that big body inside? It becomes less important?
Well, because now teams are power teams, and they don't try to knock you off the football. And then you line it with 2 backs, and then they're coming downhill smashing, and then you need a bigger body to hold a point for you.
How, when you arrived here and you knew the lay of land of college football, to say that the University of Louisville has one of the leading contenders for the Heisman Trophy, no matter if it's Teddy or who, how improbable was that 4 years ago, maybe?
Oh, you never would have thought that would happen, because you never knew the development of Teddy and how well he's developed. But then I could just remember our first year here, just having a back in Bilal Powell. You think about Bilal, what people don't know, you know, he had 4 games where he rushed for over 200 yards. I mean, so you think about it. And then the Kentucky game, I think he ended up with 170 something, so that could have been another one. But just see some of the individual players that have come through, and now all of a sudden you have a Heisman, it is special.
When you think about Teddy, he had the surgery, he looks different, he smiles a lot more. It really changed his appearance. You know him well. How big was that for him to get all that corrected?
Oh, it's confidence, but we knew that, because when you see a player in the making like Teddy, you say, one of these days he may be that guy. And that, as a freshman, you said like maybe, but let's get it all done now. And so then it now became a very confident factor. So now you felt good, speak and smile, and now, you know, it's just that his confidence just grew and has grown every year since then.
Yeah.
Do you now have kids that want to play for Charlie Strong and for the University of Louisville?
Oh, they're out there. You look at our recruiting class right now, it's probably why we have the commitments we have. Now we have to hold on to them. You know, February is a long ways away. We're gonna lose some, but we just gotta make sure that we can just hold on to the right ones.
But it's different than it was 2 years ago. It's not never easy, but it's easier.
Well, what has happened is getting in a conference has helped you, and then winning helps more than anything. A lot of us saw the Sugar Bowl, so you're reaping now the Sugar Bowl victory with the recruits that you're getting.
You know, fans kind of know you as, you know, or they kind of universally accepted you right when you got here. Like, how did that happen? And they just kind of see the guy who kind of almost breaks down at his opening press conference, and then later your enthusiasm and heart with the University of Louisville. Like, you know, how do you do that? How do you get the fans to rally around you so quickly?
Well, we have special fans here, and the thing, they have embraced us from day one. Not only me, but also my family and our coaching staff. But they're special. And you just look at practice the last 2 days. Not only practice, but think back to that Sugar Bowl when we walked out of there. And the crowd was from the lobby to the streets to trying to get on the bus, and then trying to get them out of the way from the bus so that we can get to the arena to go play the game. But it was just amazing to see that happen. But you know what happens when you're in a community and they're one the winner, and that's what we have to give this community, a winner.
Good.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.